Hey there, guys. Just a disclaimer. I'm sorry that there won't be a actual video to go with this, but I screwed up the webcam syncing, so I'm sorry about that, guys. This is more of a this series is more of a just listen to while you're doing something else. Anyway, it's not very interesting just staring at me the whole entire time. But yeah, sorry for any inconvenience and enjoy. Hey there guys, once again, Rogue Noob here with another ranting white guy with glasses. Today I will be discussing to you about movies and basically their scientific backups for whatever fantasy they're trying to build. Um, this is going to get very in depth in my realist side of me and stuff, so let's get right to it. Basically today I saw Limitless. I will say it's a pretty good movie. I wouldn't say it's the best movie, but it's a very good movie. And everything, but I had one single problem with it. Um, and this doesn't just go to this movie, it's happened tons before, like in it, I believe they said in Inception and stuff like that, that we only use 10% or 20% of our brain. Um, I'm gonna come out with it and say that's absolute bullshit because, like, evolutionarily speaking, if we didn't use 80% to 90% of our brain, we wouldn't develop it, basically. Like, and most of the time people argue, well, we don't use our appendix, but my argument to that is it's a very small part of our body. It's nothing to do with our, behavior or anything. The brain is completely our motor. It is a very complex thing, so why make it even more complicated by involving parts that don't actually do anything, basically? Um, like, I believe sure, we don't use our brain to its full potential, that's true. And we might, I'm only guessing here, but we might only use 10% of our memory in our brain. Like, we don't, especially in, what's it called, Limitless. Basically, the drug makes them remember everything in every instant of their life and categorizes it for the user or whatever. Um, but with that being said, there has been studies and there has been evidence. It hasn't been concluded or scientifically proven or anything that, but there is definitely evidence supporting the fact that we harness every memory that we ever experience through our lifetime. And over time, depending on how much you recite that memory and how much you rehearse that memory, um, we lose our neuron pathways to that particular memory. Um, but in no shape, way, or form do we only use 20% of our brain. We use all of it. Um, but yeah, for example, I know a tiny bit about the brain. I know its general regions, like um, frontal lobe is to do with your self-control. It's basically um, I don't know, just restriction. The what's that called? It's like, I don't know, the little brainstem type thing is where you house your memories, I believe. Your cerebral, like inside the deeper part of your brain, you have, I don't know what it's called, but it has the anger part of the emotion, and when that fires up, it displays anger and everything. You have the endorphins release and everything to experience a high, stuff like that. So each section of the brain has a particular purpose. It's not like by someone saying we only use 20% of my brain, I'm thinking there's one section or tiny bits of each section in the brain that I use. But we through CAT scans, I think it's CAT scans or MRIs and stuff, we are able to see the brain light up basically because like you see doctor shows and everything, and people put them in through a full body scan, and they concentrate on the brain and they ask them particular questions, and on the screen they see like part of the sections light up in your brain. that is basically oxygen, like an excess of oxygen going to that section of the brain. That's what they're judging off. Um, I learnt this off numerous sources, including podcasts and everything. Stuff you should know from how stuff works. Did a podcast on MRIs, and that's how I basically know that. So all my knowledge comes from credible sources. It's not like House or ER or CSI or anything. It's legitimate sources. Um, like I said, I am a realist, so I do judge things that people say in terms of science. Um, but yeah, that's my main point. But I will go into other parts like let me see, War of the Worlds. My main problem, like, don't get me wrong, I thought War of the Worlds was a very good movie, very good book, and a very good audio tape, including its musical. The musical is excellent. I recommend you go out and watch that and listen to it. But basically, spoiler alert, the aliens die because they cannot adapt to our environment, basically, and it's bacterium. But at the like in the middle or something, just like maybe half an hour after the aliens' first encounter, people are saying that they have been planning this for like a millennia and eons and stuff. But you would think that a highly superior alien race who wanted to conquer our planet in the future would monitor its atmosphere and the bacterial life on it and draw their self-protectory um, equipment off that. They just wouldn't go out like take this for example. We wouldn't just go out on a planet if we could access a planet. We wouldn't that had an atmosphere obviously. We wouldn't go out onto the planet and with no like ventilation system or protection against foreign antibodies and everything. Like we would go extensive like readings on if we could survive in that atmosphere. Um, Stuff like that. Just key key features in science. And my webcam can't adjust to the light. Okay, I think it's fine now. But yeah, like its main parts of the movies and basically the foundation on why things like major things are happening or how they work, they just base it on it's basically crap. Um, like I believe I did a little bit of research just before I did this about the 20% of our brain, and people believe it was a misinterpretation from Albert Einstein. He basically said that we are using about 10% of our brain's resources, in that we basically, what I get from that is we look at something, we take notice of it, but we don't necessarily register it or I don't know, it doesn't come into our actual consciousness, it comes in our subconscious. Um, and stuff like that. Other scientists have kind of glimmered across that as well. See if I have. No, I don't have it up still. But basically, there's been like a few scientists who kind of say the same vague thing, and I know media sources must have seen this and just relayed the myth. So this is kind of my plea out there. Do not believe what movies tell you in like science terms and everything. Um, what else? Oh yeah, Piranha. That movie that came out like last year or something, Piranha 3D. Um, I highly recommend you see that just for the laughs. Like seriously, do not take the movie seriously. But basically, the main plot is there's a colony. Well, not really colony. I can't say it now. It's more of a basic I don't know, infestation of piranha, like prehistoric piranha, the very first piranha that was seen on the earth. And they become trapped in a abyss, basically, and the abyss seals up due to like seismic shifts or whatever. And basically they survive eternity, basically, until now. And an earthquake happens, and basically the fish are released, and they just wreak havoc. Um, Main problem is like they explain how they like lived like they got food by cannibalism. Um, and basically, yeah, just orgies and stuff to reproduce. But my main problem is if you're trapped in a closed abyss and you have millions of fish down there, the water is not going to be all that oxygenated. It does oxygenated. I don't know. It just doesn't. It wouldn't have any oxygen basically after like 100 years. Or even less probably. But yeah, there'll be no oxygen. Basically, each fish, I'm assuming, would need to eat each day or maybe each week at the most, at at least. Um, and basically, fish don't reproduce that quickly, even though they have like 100 babies. 100 babies doesn't do not mature within a couple of days. I'm going to tell you now. Um, But yeah, like just main plot stories and scientific basis is very poor in movies. And this is basically just me sending out a plea, basically. Um, I like did a little rhyme then. Um, but yeah, if you're gonna watch a movie, and they back it up with some scientific evidence and you're gonna quote that scientific evidence, please do a background check on whether it is true because more than likely it's not. So yeah, I think I'll tie it up here. It's been 11 minutes. So yeah, guys, I'll probably redo this video sometime in the future. If a movie makes me angry. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Check out Limitless. I can't speak today either. I'm poor. Um, so yeah, check out Limitless. War of the Worlds, books, tape, whatever. Definitely check out its musical tape by I think it's Jeff Wayne. It is very good in his compositions and everything. Um, but yeah, I'm sure you can find it on YouTube and everything. So yeah, thanks guys for watching. Check out my other videos, my Crisis, my guitar videos, my even my raps. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you later.